This podcast is part of the Loosely Connected Network. Visit www.thelooselyconnected.com for more great podcast networks, Twitch streams, YouTube channels, and more.
I love the Power Club.
Come with me if you want to live.
I love the Power Club.
No time for time travel.
Welcome to the No Time for Time Travel podcast, where we're a podcast for nerds by nerds. My name is Tony, and joining me this week, all the way from Sweden, is Kwok.
Hello.
We're a podcast where you guys suggest us a topic to discuss as the topic of the episode. But today, we're just going to be doing our main topic as a tribute to Stan Lee. So we're going to be talking about, just anything about him and his cameos and some interesting facts about him. But yeah, before we get to that, how you been doing?
I'm pretty tired. I just flew in from Barcelona last night.
Oh my gosh. Wait, you were in Barcelona? Spain?
Yeah, for the weekend.
Oh. That's why.
Yeah, that's why when you message me, you're like, hey, you want to record today? I'm like, okay. Let's do it.
You could have told me no.
Yeah, but then it's a Stan Lee tribute.
Okay.
It was like a regular episode, like, okay.
Yeah,
No.
Okay. Well, wait, what'd you do in Barcelona?
Well, I just want to check out the country, and I had a friend over there as well, and she was just I just hung out with her, and then sorry listeners if I sound a little tired, because I am. I tried to wake. I woke up earlier because I set the alarm, and then I think when I fell asleep, I set the alarm. I'm like, okay, cool, I should be awake by then. And then I woke up. I said, why do I have an alarm for this hour? It should be the other one. I went back to sleep. I'm like, oh crap. And then halfway later when you messaged me, it's like, oh crap. Oh, that's why. Okay.
Oh.
I'm awake now.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember you said 8 o'clock my time. And then I'm like, at 8 o'clock, I'm like, nothing. And then I wait till 8:30. Nothing. 8:35, I'm like, maybe I should message you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, did you do anything interesting in Barcelona?
Yeah, I think it's just mostly checking out the stuff, checking out the city, museums, did some hikes. So I just saw like the bigger, like, I was more of like a touristy-ish thing where it's just like checking out like the big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a huge church and it has some pretty good art. So check out our museum. That's most of it. It was just a lot of walking around. It was a lot of walking.
Well, that's good.
Huh?
No, the walking around's good though.
I know. It's amazing, but just really, there's a lot.
Yeah. You should have played Pokemon Go and turn it on while you walk.
No, I don't have Pokemon Go. I started a long time ago.
I know. I literally just bought Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu like an hour ago, like before I tried to reach you. So yeah, I haven't played it yet, but I probably will.
Oh, wait, so you slept there?
Yeah, no, I got it from my friend Ernie because he had extra copies, and I was on the borderline of if I was going to buy it or not. And then he said, "Oh, I have one." I'm like, "Okay, sold."
You didn't even ask him if he liked it. I just said
no, like a lot of my friends actually. So like my coworker at work, right? I asked him, "So hey, did you get the new Pokemon Let's Go?" And he was like, "Yeah, I put 16 hours into it already." I'm like, wait, what? I thought the game just got released, right?
I don't know. I thought it was out for a while.
Pokemon Let's Go, not Pokemon Go.
Yeah. I thought it was out for like a few months already.
Oh, no, it's not. You probably saw the trailer.
Oh, yeah. So I didn't know the official release date yet. No, you're right.
Oh, it got released 3 days ago.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's enough time with 16 hours.
Yeah, I guess.
One day.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll see. But anyway, yeah.
Cool.
Oh, I wanted to tell you that I went to DesignerCon. So.
Oh, yeah, that's right. How was that?
Yeah, it was good. I only was there for like an hour and a half because I was like just trying to make a quick run through to see what's there.
Uh-huh.
And because I had to go to anniversary dinner with my fiance. So there was a lot of cool artwork there. Lots of cool fan art, lots of cool original art. Lots of not even like art, but sculptures, statues. But these are like nerdy theme, and there's like steampunk. Wait, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, sorry. It's just like, it's not even art.
Oh.
It could be.
Oh, sorry. I meant
all the sculptures. I'm like, okay. That's what you
sorry. I mean, it's not just 2D art. That's what I meant.
Okay.
It's like 3D art too. And they also had things like decks of cards that were, unique designs. Very like cool, like, I don't know how to describe. They had like a whole Sailor Moon deck of cards that looks really, really, really good. Like it just looks nice and it feels really nice. So, I bought that even though I'm not a Sailor Moon's fan. And then they also had
Deck of cards.
What was that?
Did you say it's a deck of cards?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would. Right?
Yeah. And, Dragon Ball Z cards too. But then if you look at them, you wouldn't even think that they're Dragon Ball Z, cards. They're just designed so well.
Are the Dragon Ball Z cards similar to like super old in the 90s card where it's just a whole bunch of pictures, really cool pictures and with numbers?
Yeah, but the back of it, like there's a slight like foil, like a gold foil on it, like in the design itself, in the picture, and it's for every card, But it's not like a actual foil. It's more like printed on there, and it's like still the cards are like flush with the. It feels like a very brand new smooth deck of cards by the Bicycle Company, but in like really cool design.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you just happened to be in the area and then to check it out?
Well, my fiance really liked art, and she followed the different 2D artists, and she heard about DesignerCon through them on Friday. And then so I was like, oh, yeah, we can go. And she says, yeah, I really want to go. And then it turns out that when we got there, like my other friend from San Diego, he was already there and he was leaving. So he gave us his badges. So we actually just...
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we just got in like no cost. So, but yeah.
Cool.
Because he was there only a short time too. Maybe like 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was good. It kind of worked out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I got you a pin. It's like a Mega Man pin, but his face looks really weird. I can't explain it.
It looks like, have you seen One Punch Man?
Yes, it looks like One Punch Man.
It's like that face.
Yes.
As Mega Man.
It's like One Punch Man wearing a Mega Man's helmet.
Yeah. Not the cool One Punch Man, the normal One Punch Man face.
But yeah, that's
cool.
That's all for me. Want to move on to news?
Sure, yep.
All right. So, some of the news items. What do you think about the trailer for Pokemon Detective Pikachu?
Everything's so fuzzy. I'm so confused. I don't like the fuzziness that much. But overall, the movie the trailer seems not too bad, actually. It looks better than a lot of those fan-made or anime-made stuff. Yeah.
It's because they actually make the characters or the Pokemon look realistic instead of just except Mr. Mime. I'm a little scared of Mr. Mime.
I mean, he's always been like the creepy one, right? Because he's too human-like.
But now that it's juxtaposed next to a real human, it's even worse.
Oh yeah.
Like now he's just a really badly mutated human.
It is funny because when seeing a trailer, it reminded me of like was it Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Yeah. But then it's replaced with Pokemon instead of cartoon characters, the 2D cartoon characters.
Yeah. And then the kid looks like, I mean, you told me this too, that the story is kind of like Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah. It's funny. But overall, I don't think it's bad at the moment.
I feel like... go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. No, sorry. I was going to say, like, it looks like it's kind of true to its aesthetic, or like it's themed, so which is good, because that's, if you have a whole bunch of Pokemon, or if you have like a Pokemon movie that's in 3D or something, and the world isn't about Pokemon at all, then that's when you get like a lot of upset fans.
Yeah, I was actually a little worried when they said Detective Pikachu that it was only a Pikachu movie with no other Pokemon.
Yeah.
Let me see. So, the other thing is Deadpool. So the name of the movie that they're releasing in December is called Once Upon a Deadpool. And it's basically Deadpool 2, but in a PG-13 format. They just released a trailer for it, and it's kind of funny. Cause they film extra scenes with Fred Savage. I told you, the guy from Wonder Years. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause he's like, I'm not a kid. What am I doing here? because Deadpool like taped him with duct tape to like the bed.
Yeah.
So it's like he can't get out, and he's like, "What am I doing here?" And I thought one of the jokes was really funny. It was Fred Savage was saying, "Oh, I kind of prefer the Marvel movies," and then Deadpool was like, "But I am Marvel." And then Fred Savage was like, "Well, you're Fox licensed Marvel. It's kind of like if Nickelback produced the Beatles songs. It just sucks." Yeah, I don't know what you think about that.
That's nice. But I mean, Deadpool movies are meant to be like that, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, those kind of jokes. I mean, so it's really funny.
yeah, like self-deprecating. And I think like they're just doing that now because they know that Disney already finished like buying them out.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, now we can make fun of Fox. Let's see. Another news item is Dumbo. Dumbo trailer got released. The live action.
I might heard about it. I still don't like the idea.
Yeah, me neither. I saw a little bit of it, and I'm like, I'm not gonna watch the whole trailer. It just didn't seem right. Toy Story 3. Did you look at the teaser for that? Sorry, not 3. I meant 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was like 3.
Yeah.
No, I didn't even know it was out yet. No, I'm a little behind on trailers this month.
Yeah, no, it was just the past week. I think was it a trailer or was it just a picture? No, I think it was a teaser poster. Wait, no. No, it was a teaser. Toy Story 4.
Okay. let me
Yeah.
see.
It's very, yeah, it's like 2 minutes.
Okay. I'm not sure how I mean, they've had a history of good stuff
Mm-hmm.
with the Toy Story franchise, like where the sequels are actually good and not not that bad.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure yet. Just because like it was this year, right? The Me Too movement, or was it last year?
Last year, I know who you're talking about. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
With the Pixar
So
guy.
yeah, just because like John Lasseter was one of those people
Yeah.
that were that would normally take head, and then he recently retired, or like he stepped down.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Just both if he finished way before then, and now it just recently got released, or if it's like halfway and it's going to be a changed director. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point, because I don't know if they switched directors or if he even had like a large hand in it.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, if it's a one director or something, and it's not too bad. Like I'm not saying like John Lasseter is the only good director over there, but I'm just saying the whole change in director or like in roles and with people that might come as abrupt and might have a weird transition possibly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully it turns out well.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. The next thing I have is John Cryer. Do you know him? He's a guy from 2.5 Men. He's the
okay, yes,
the not Charlie Sheen.
Yeah. I was like, wait, yeah.
Yeah. So he got casted in the Supergirl TV show as Lex Luthor, which is kind of odd but kind of cool.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, in Superman 4, the one with Christopher Reeve, he was actually in it. John Cryer. He played as Lex Luthor's nephew, Lenny Luthor. So I guess it kind of like came full circle.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's and now he grew up.
Yep, and then he grew up to be Lex Luthor. So yeah, that's all the news I have. Do you have anything else?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Topic of the episode.
All right, so let's move on to the topic of the episode, which is actually about the late and great Stan Lee. So, as everybody knows by now, it's really sad that Stan Lee has passed at the age of 95. And I think at the time of passing, they were suspecting it was complications of pneumonia or something like that. I don't remember the details, but yeah, like I don't know. It's kind of like what did you feel? Because I was shocked but not shocked.
Yeah, that's why like when you messaged me like Stanley died, I was like, what? I thought like it felt really weird.
Uh-huh.
Because I was like, because I know he's been old
Yeah.
And he's been around, but then he just keeps showing up in movies. It feels like he was like immortal.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I was gonna say that too. Like, I felt he was immortal. Like, he will never go away, you know?
Yeah.
So,
I think that's where like I was shocked in that sense. Was like what? Like it doesn't seem weird. That doesn't sound right. Like it just came out of nowhere. But realistically, he's 95, and
yeah.
for him to be like 95, walking around still acting in movies, that's a pretty healthy 95-year-old person.
Yeah, like really healthy. You know, and it's interesting. We haven't really heard much about any like he's been sick, but then we haven't heard like, you know, him being severely sick or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it seemed like it was out of nowhere.
Yeah. It's kind of weird because it's like everybody knew him, but there was never any news of him.
Yeah.
Because it's not like a we call it a politician or some sort of celebrity, like a big, like a movie celebrity. Like he is a celebrity in its own sense and everything, but like there's like no media following. It's like, oh my god, this is Stan Lee on like Saturday or something doing something, blah 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 blah. But it's just like very low key in a way. So that's why like it was like shocking in that sense, because a lot of people were affected by it or like knew who he was. They knew any Marvel movies, and it was just like, whoa. Well, how come we never hear anything about this? Where's like the media to update us on like his life story or like his current situation? And I think that's where like the shock came in for most people.
Yeah.
So it's just go, but it's very understandable. Like it's just super sad.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh man, I understand that. He is pretty old. He's 95.
Yeah, but in a way, like we say, like, oh, we think he's immortal, but at the same time, he kind of is in a way that you know, he created this entire universe. You know what's really crazy is him growing up and starting to do comics, and then at the end of his life, seeing that all of this has manifested into this whole billion-dollar industry in movies.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Yeah,
I do really appreciate that they have put him in cameos and everything, like the creator, and like every single one. It's like, oh my god, this is the guy that created and it didn't really matter like whatever company it was, like from Fox to Marvel or anything like that. Or was there another one?
Yeah,
I don't even know.
There is one cameo I want to talk about actually. Now that you bring it up, he was in the Teen Titans Go to the Movies movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was in there a little bit, and then like he jumps into the camera and he's like, "This is Stan Lee. Da, da, da. I love cameos." Da, da, da. It was actually his voice. And then like a stagehand person in security of WB or something comes and whispers to him, and then he looks at the camera and is like, "What? This is a DC movie. I better get out of here." And then like later on, he shows up again. He's like, "I don't care that this is a DC movie. I love cameos." It was such a good cameo.
Yeah, it's really that sounds very funny.
Yeah,
no, I mean it's really good. It's like, I think like it's really awesome that the people like are like regardless of studio acknowledges him. Yeah, so it was kind of like he brought people together in a way.
Yeah. Even like, like I mean, okay, out of respect, yes, I do expect DC to say something from his passing. But it was still surprising to see them say something, you know?
Yes.
Because it's like competitor, but at the same time, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, it's like a friendly rivalry in a way.
Yeah.
Whereas like it's always like a rival with a competitor, but it's kind of like you do it. It's out like a respect. It's kind of like a sportsmanship sort of thing. Yeah. Like if let's say like two basketball teams, they might go head to head during like the game. They're trying to beat each other, but after the game and everything, they're still like friends with one another, and they just still they push each other in a way. Yeah, and I mean that's kind of like how the two companies got so like strong, because they were so like pushing each other to like go beyond with the stories and everything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I guess, do you have any other things about Stan Lee that you might want to
mention any little facts or I don't know, like what you want to talk about Stan Lee?
I guess for me, aside from all the cameos, it's pretty much just like he pretty much was a really big inspiration to, I'm sure, like a lot of artists or people. Just because of the world he created. For me, I think it's mostly I was more influenced with him through Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest inspiration I'm talking in general for like artists is just like being able to create, like having stuff like that. I think, and a lot of the artists that I do follow, some I follow were from Marvel. Like they're really great not animators. They're really great illustrators. And you would see like they had a passion where like, oh, I love this type of character because when I was younger, this inspired me to want to be like a superhero or that sort of thing. And I think it's the whole superhero aspect, like going down to like Incredibles and everything. I think personally it goes down to like the whole Marvel DC-ish. So coming from like just Stan Lee, he's like, oh man, you would never think of like superheroes if these never evolved. Like there would be like no Incredibles or any sort of like one-off characters like Freakazoid or anything like that. Because there's people, or like Stan Lee created a world where where humans or whatever they might be had like some sort of superpowers, and that just evolved over time, and that inspired a lot of other creators to like make something similar, and that just blossomed into like what we have today, like a whole bunch of movies about superheroes. Like even though like I say like, oh my god, not another superhero one. Like I really respect Stan Lee out of like creating a world where more people like try to take after him.
Yeah, I agree, and I'd like to add to that too. That before the whole Marvel and DC, there were heroes. There were like superheroes, mythological stuff, and things like that. Like mythical heroes. But one of the things I think like Stan Lee really prided himself in was creating a world of superheroes where superheroes were just regular humans like us that got powers, and then their story is, what if it was just us who received these powers, and what would we do with them? And it kind of like kept it a little bit more grounded and more realistic. Yeah. So it made everyone more relatable to these heroes that they're superheroes, but then they're still relatable because they are just like us. So
no, I totally agree. I guess it definitely makes sense, because I was trying to think back just now, like, okay, if there were any other heroes before like all the characters he created, and I was like, okay, wait a minute. Like you mentioned, like all of them were like mythological, so it's kind of like gods.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So it's like hard to relate, right? And by making someone like Spider-Man, who's just like a teenager who got bit by a spider, and he still has to deal with like a school life on top of being a superhero. It makes it more relatable,
right? Or like Tony Stark, who is just a rich guy.
You know what's funny? I think I remember Stan Lee saying that Tony Stark was created because they wanted to create a superhero that you're supposed to dislike, but you'll like him anyway.
He did that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That's like crazy that they were able to do that. So,
yeah.
And I guess a few other facts, like random facts I found about him, was that his wife cut his hair most of the time. So his whole adult life, he's never been to a barber.
Oh, wow.
Let me see. Let me look at some other stuff. He got his first big break writing a 2-pager for Captain America. So he was given a chance to write a little story, and they gave him a 2-pager in Captain America to write. And this was before Marvel was even Marvel. It was back when it was Timely Comics.
I was trying to think, like, when was like the first Marvel-ish character then?
So what do you mean by first Marvelous character? Like,
because then you were mentioning Captain America. Mm-hmm. So does that mean like Captain America is the first of his story, I guess, or were there other stories that preceded that?
Well, for Stan Lee, it looks like it was his first big break. Was he wrote a story for Captain America, but at the same time, that wasn't officially Marvel. It was before it became Marvel. It was Timely Comics. but I guess that's just more like nitpicking at the history.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm just talking about in terms of Stan Lee, not in terms of like Marvel, I guess.
I don't know if it's I don't think it's his very first story, but I think it was his first as a comic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm just curious, like, you were saying the big break was Captain America. So I'm kind of curious, like, what other ones there were.
Oh, you mean the characters around that time?
Yeah. Oh, no, that Stan Lee created.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do know for a fact that Stan Lee created Spider-Man and Daredevil. I don't recall a lot of the other ones. He co-created several of the bigger Avengers characters.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't remember the list off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this really funny? Or like, not funny, but I'm sure it's really obvious for people who follow the comics.
Yeah.
Because when I hear like, oh, Captain America, he's like the first one, or like the first big break and everything, it's like, oh, okay, so he's kind of like the origin-ish, which kind of in a way made sense.
Like Captain America is the origin of Stan Lee.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. Oh, and then since we were talking about his other creations, Daredevil, I was reading, like last week I was reading about it. He created Daredevil, but he was really scared about creating Daredevil because he was afraid he would offend the blind people.
Yeah.
And it was very, like, shockingly good that they all enjoyed the character and then was praising him. And then people were telling him that, you know, the caretakers for the people who are blind would like read the stories of Daredevil to them. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, he was like very scared of that in the beginning.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
but it's kind of funny because like it showed that he was taking a risk.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm saying, it's like a risk that as an artist, like you're kind of like always afraid like of touchy topics because like as if you were to publish it and it becomes like a corporate sort of thing, there's a whole bunch of like, oh my god, what if it offends this? We can't do this. And then it reminds me of how like the current situation with industry, people are really afraid of touchy topics. It's like, oh my god, it might offend this, let's not do it or something. But then like if you take after Stan Lee, like you don't know until you actually try. It might be something good. It might offend everybody, but it might also be something good, and it's a risk that was worth and well received it.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that because the other thing I was going to mention, which goes exactly with this, is that one of the things that he took a risk for was a while back, like in the 70s, the Department of Health wanted him to include a comic that had an anti-drug message. But he wrote a story in Spider-Man involving Harry abusing drugs, like Harry Osborn.
Yeah.
But then what was it called? The comics, they kind of like the censorship for comics, like Comic Code Authority. They wouldn't approve the story. They're like, no, you can't do this. We're not going to put our seal on this comic that this is an approved story. And but Stan Lee didn't care because he wanted to run it anyway, so he did. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing, right? It's the censorship from corporate or like big productions. It's understandable, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that it'll be bad. That it's a risk that might be something like too out there, because sometimes like those kind of ideas, they keep the story grounded and made it more relatable for people. Yeah.
So let's see. Do you have other things about him?
Let me see. I think I do. If I remember. Yeah, wasn't like you were mentioning his wife earlier. I remember like there was an episode of Spider-Man, or like 1 or 2 episodes. She was like supposed to be.
Oh yeah.
character.
Yeah, so at the very end of Spider-Man, the animated series in the 90s, there was this whole storyline of Spider-Man being hit into different, like, universes, where there was a multiverse of all these different Spider-Man that had to team up to defeat, like, a Carnage Spider-Man. And the person who rounded them up together was a woman named Madam Web. And I think Madam Web was created just for that show, and I think that was voiced by his wife. Let me just double check. Madam Web. Let's see. She was depicted as an elderly woman with myasthenia gravis and connected to a life support system that looked like a spider web.
I didn't know it was a life support system, but now I know.
Yeah, I didn't know either. Let's see.
It's like this is it's really cool design. I mean, okay, it's like Professor Xavier.
Let me see. Madam Web voice actress. I can't remember, but I just want to double check. And I want to like say something wrong. Yeah, it was Joan Lee.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it was actually cool because in the episode, Spider-Man also got to meet Stan Lee.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. Oh, and Stan Lee also mentioned something funny about the Hulk was that originally the Hulk was gray. They wanted to make him gray, but then the printers were like making up, like they were not able to keep it consistent. So then just one day with no explanation, the Hulk turned green. And then they kept him like that forever.
It's kind of funny how like all these stuff that happens, not Hulk specific, but it's just like sometimes there's like a happy accident in a way. Something it's just like the artist might not intend for it, but it just kept that way because some sort of like limitation or malfunction. Yeah,
that's true. I mean, that reminds me of oh man, something like that happened with the movies. I forgot. So there was an accidental casting or something, and then it ended up being better. I forgot.
Oh,
yeah, I forgot the details.
But I'm trying to remember. Like I'm thinking cameos, and it's like I remember there's quite a few in like all the Marvel ones. But were there any during like the X-Men ones?
Yeah, there were. He was in a lot of them. He was a hot dog stand seller in one of the X-Men movies, and then in another one where. Oh, there was one cameo in one of the X-Men movies. I think it was X-Men 3, Last Stand. I think it was that one where it kind of looked like it was going to be an apocalypse and like in the air and all the missiles or whatever, explosions. And then they had was it X-Men? No, probably First Class. Well, one of the X-Men. Basically, he was there and he was there with his wife, his real life wife. Yeah. So Joan was actually in it. I think that was the only time she was in it. So.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. He was also in the Fantastic Four series too. He was the mailman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He also tried to crash their wedding, if you remember that. He was like, "Oh
no, I don't remember. No."
Oh, he was like talking to the bouncer, and he's like, "I should be on this list. Look it up. My name is Stan Lee."
Oh, yeah. I do remember that one. Yeah. Yeah. See, it's so funny because like he pops up in everywhere that it's so hard for me to like associate him with like one certain movie. I said, where is this one from? Where is this one from?
Yeah. And I don't know if you remember, or did you see Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh, okay. So should I tell you his cameo?
Let me find out later.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
I'm actually kind of curious. Speaking of cameos, what will happen with the animated stuff? So the new Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah.
So I'm kind of curious, like what he'll be as in that one.
Well, in some of the Marvel Netflix series, there was a like quote unquote cameo, but it wasn't really him. It was like a giant wall in the city of his picture.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's why I'm kind of curious if he'll be in it. But we're like, well, the movie's done already.
Well,
But I was like, I'm kind of curious, like what would happen if they'll throw it in like last minute.
They might have already included it. We don't know yet. So
yeah, exactly.
They did announce Marvel Cinematic Universe, Marvel Studios. They did say that they pre-filmed a bunch of cameos of Stan Lee.
Okay.
And the last cameo that they have of Stan Lee is actually for Avengers 4. Which
I remember there was like a list of like Marvel movies that are planning to be released later on in the year, so like the whole timeline.
Yeah.
I forgot like what was like at the end. Was it Infinity Wars? Oh no, sorry, it was more in
Avengers 4.
Avengers 4.
Well, no, there's going to be movies after Avengers 4, but Avengers 4 is like kind of like the end of the era of like the first,
Stanley.
Yeah, the 10 years. The one that started with Iron Man. The whole like universe storyline ends at Avengers 4.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but it will still continue, but that main storyline is gone. Like that's the end of like the whole Thanos storyline.
Okay.
So I mean, it's pretty crazy that that's the last cameo he filmed because that's also like a fitting end as well.
Yeah.
So like, yeah. And then Marvel did say they have a surprise way of, doing a tribute for him.
Yeah.
So we'll see how
Good.
that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, and then like, I guess I have one more thing about Stanley. Do you have anything else?
No, I think that's all I can think of for now. Go ahead.
Okay. So the one more thing I have about Stanley was about his catchphrase. I remember reading that he wanted to find a catchphrase that is not common enough that people can take it and, like take it, pass it as their own. So like, several words or a phrase or inspirational quote, people can do that. People can like just write it at the end of their stuff and then no one will know any better. It could be Stan Lee's, it could be anyone else. So Stan Lee decided to pick the name or pick the word Excelsior because it's unique. And it's like one thing that he can say at the very end of something that is like very like branding, not branding, but like
it's something that stands out, unique.
Yeah, so it's just like that's his life motto, So yeah, that's really the last thing I really had about him.
Okay. Because I think I sent you like the comic of like the 30 artists thing, right? Or like 30 plus artists doing tribute.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I didn't know about like the Excelsior thing until that. When I was like, oh, okay, there's a lot of Excelsior, yelling Excelsior, and I didn't know that was a thing until then recently.
Yeah.
So it's kind of,
yep. He did that in the Teen Titans cameo. He yelled Excelsior at the end.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I think I'm trying to think like, was Spider-Man one of his first few that he started? Because it seems like it's very close. Everybody associates Spider-Man with Stan Lee quite closely.
I don't know if it's his first. I know he has a huge, like that's like his I don't know, not really claim to fame, but more like what you said, everyone knows him for that. Because
yeah. I'm trying to figure out like if something happened that triggered it or something.
Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe just the character itself was like, it resonated with so many people. And
maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and then there was this, picture I saw that was kind of sweet. It was, Stanley was in heaven and he's like waiting in heaven. And then you see the voice of God saying to Stanley is like, you're not so bad at creating universes yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That was good. All right. Well, I guess since we are close to Thanksgiving right now, I would like to say I'm very thankful for having Stanley create that whole universe that we can all grow up and relate in, So.
Yeah, no, I was going to say something similar. It's only fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when you think back, it's not one character, it's like a world.
Yeah.
Or universe, I guess.
Yeah. Or multiverse. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's like it's trying to, when you try to trace back to like, okay, what's the first superhero? And like we were talking about earlier, it really isn't a hero, like a superhero sort of thing, unless you, like, I'm trying to think back, like, okay, did Superman, like Batman thing come out, like DC try to do something before, but I'm pretty sure like Marvel started everything.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I always say that they all started around the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's hard to go back and say, oh, it's weird.
Yeah, but even then, I feel like a person like, Superman or Batman are less relatable. Like, okay, the Trinity,
no, I
right?
agree.
Yeah, like the Trinity of DC is Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, okay? So Superman is like this alien that has crazy powers. Wonder Woman, she's literally a god. And then Batman is a human, but no human is like that.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah, they're very unrelatable. It's hard to. It's kind of like people you wish you were in a way. It's kind of like going back to what we say about gods, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, it feels unattainable. Like, well, we weren't born into that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing about Bruce Wayne, he's a human, but he's also rich. So, yeah. So I guess that's our tribute to Stan Lee.
Yep.
All right, so let's move on to what? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, so thank you, Stanley.
Yes, thank you, Stanley.
You got mail. You got mail. You got mail.
All right, so let's move on to quickly go through the community question from last week, which was, what's the most ridiculous video game vehicle or transportation mechanism? Monster Closet says he loves the Batmobile from Arkham Knight. It's ridiculous, but Rocksteady made it mechanically plausible and just Batman enough to make it feel like a badass cruising in it. Okay? And then Dark Princess says, I agree. I keep wanting to answer, but I couldn't think of anything. And then Kinetic from Enthusiasts, he says, probably not that crazy or weird, but how about Sophia the Third? Do you know what that is?
No, what's that?
So Sophia the Third is the name of the tank in Blaster Master.
I want to look it up. Hold on.
Did you ever play Blaster Master?
No. I want to see what it looks like, though.
Yeah, it's basically a tank, but then the tank can bend upwards and look around like a human and jump as well.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. So I guess since it is almost Thanksgiving, so you want to ask like everyone what is... Actually, let me back up. So for those of you who are not in the US or in Canada or in a country that celebrates Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving is a holiday that we celebrate and give thanks to what we're thankful for. So with that being said, let's ask everyone what they're thankful for.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm thankful for a lot of things, and I can't list them all.
I'm thankful you're not listing all of them. No, I guess it's pretty generic, but it's for me, it's just a lot of for the people in my life. It's just like it builds you up it builds you to who you are today, or who I am today.
Yeah, that's part of the things I was gonna say too. So I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and being thankful for everyone who never bailed, like they just stayed in your life and support you. So
yeah, I'm actually even though like I say everybody, I do mean like everybody, because there are like bad experiences, but those bad experiences help build character in a way.
Yeah, I think
I'm not. I mean, it's not like a bad. It's not like I'm praising them for doing it or anything. But I was like, okay, well, I mean, it's not a bad thing for me. It maybe how I am today.
Yeah, I mean, every experience shapes you. So yeah, that's a good point too.
Yeah.
I mean, part of me at one point, some of the bad experiences I've had, part of me did say, "Oh, well, I'm thankful that happened." And then I was telling some of my friends about that, and then they're like, "Yeah, but don't thank them. They were bad people." I'm like,
yeah, I'm not thinking no. Thank you for like, okay.
I was like, thank you for having that experience. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. So yeah, you guys can tweet us and let us know what you're thankful for. And I think not sure if I'm gonna record an episode next week with you or Liam because it is gonna be Thanksgiving weekend.
Right.
I might. So for listeners, I might just do a clip show of like old clips and then interject in between with some comments and then I will read everybody's thanks on the next episode. So
cool.
Yeah. All right. So on to the final lap. Do you have anything to promote?
Nothing new. Same as always. Check out our friend Steve at mindforbuilder.com. And also check out my friend Vince at Hypeman Vince with all the handle. That's the handle for Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, etc.
Yeah. And you guys can find us everywhere as on Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, some other stuff. And we're under NTFT2Pod. And actually, if you go to youtube.com/NTFT2Pod, our latest video is a video that I put up for just like a short 3-minute thing about my time at DesignerCon. So you'll see some pictures and maybe some video too. But yeah, until next time, I'm going to end this episode leaving you guys with an audio clip of Stan Lee's last video. So this is him talking about his fans and how much he loves them.
We get, again, the fans love your sense of humor. And
it's an equal love fest because I love my fans. I cannot tell you how much I love my fans. They sometimes at night I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, what's it all about? And then I get a letter from a fan, or I read something, or I see something, or I remember something, and I realize it's so lucky to have fans who really care about you. And that's the reason I care so much about the fans, because they make me feel so great. And there's something, if you think about it, that is wonderful about somebody caring about you as I care about them, whom you've never met, who may live in another part of the world, but they care, and you have something in common, and occasionally you contact each other. And this business of fans, I think, is terrific. And I love them all.